I'm channeling Madonna here. We are living in a material world, but this center is what's going to help us understand how our energy works in the material world. The center we're going to be talking about today is the ego, heart, or will center. Yes, it goes by all three of those names, and I'm going to call it all three of those names just so that nobody gets confused. But you can call it the ego center, the heart center, or the will center. It all means the same center, which is this little teeny triangle on the right-hand side of your body graph. Now, this center is the center of our desires, of our willpower, of material resources like money. It's also the center of our self-worth. And there's a lot of wounding that comes around this center, obviously, because it is directed with our self-worth and also with material things like money. Only 35% of the population has this defined. This is a very masculine energy, that energy to get things done, to have the willpower when you commit your mind to something, to actually do whatever it takes to get it done. I feel it's very interesting. There's a lot of wounding around this center because since only a third of the population has this energy consistently, we've built society around this hustle culture, this dog-eat-dog world of doing whatever it takes to get something done through hustle culture, through exhausting ourselves and burnout, that there's only this third of the population that has this energy consistently. And so the other 2/3 of the population actually have a harder time with this self-worth. They have a hard time with this worthiness wound because they feel like they can't follow through as much as the way that society was created for them to. So let's dive into what it means to have this defined and what it means to be undefined in this area. If you are defined here, this means that that little triangle on the right-hand side of your body is colored in any color. This means that you have consistent energy flowing through you in the ways of worthiness, of your desires, of willpower to get things done, and material resources. You have this innate gift of motivation. You have this motivation and drive that when you set your mind to something, you have this willpower and motivation to follow through with it no matter what. This is an incredible gift to have. A lot of people wish they had this sort of motivation and willpower. And when you're aligned here, you are truly a source of inspiration to others, because you can commit yourself to that really difficult diet that's very restrictive because you're like, nope, this is something that I want. My desire is that I want to be healthy and take care of my body. And so I'm cutting out all of these things and only feeding myself nourishing food from the earth. So this is an energy that you can commit yourself to get things done. You do have that consistent sense of self-worth too, because you know when you commit your mind to something, when you desire something and you're clear on those desires, you know that you're going to do whatever it takes to get those desires. You have this sense of self-worth that, yeah, I'm worthy of those things because I'm going to work hard to make sure that I get those things. And so then your desires are able to come easier to you. However, it's extremely easy to get out of alignment in this center. This is when you are working hard just because you've been conditioned to believe that you need to work hard. This is when you are going to hustle and overwork yourself, even when there's things that don't align with your desires, just because this is something that you're used to doing. And you have this sense almost that you want to prove to others that hard work pays off. And that if they just work hard too, you don't understand why they can't achieve just as much as you. However, we have to understand that if you're defined here, you're only a third of the population. And it's not as easy for those who don't have this consistent energy to achieve in the way that you achieve, to have the willpower and the hustle behind what you do. When you're out of alignment here, you aren't accepting and understanding, and instead you push, push, push. And we see this a lot with like parents and children, that parents, especially with this defined will center, can almost push their children to achieve things and work really hard and overwork themselves to get straight A's, to get the grades, to do all of the things, to play all of the sports, be in all of the clubs, when this isn't aligned with what the child needs or desires. But this child feels this pressure from the parent to get all this and be perfect at it. And so this child then starts developing a deep self-worth wound. Well, if I don't do this for my mom or dad, they're not going to see me as worthy of anything because I can't achieve those things. So it's just coming to this understanding that not everybody has the same access to willpower consistently that you do. If you are undefined in this center, there's no color on this little triangle in your chart. It is white, meaning that you are taking on energy from people in this area of life. You don't have consistent access to willpower, a consistent focus of your desires, and self-worth might come a little bit more difficult for you. However, this also is a beautiful gift because you get to take in the energy of the people and the environments around you, and you are gaining this wisdom in this area. So even feeling the sense that you're allowed to have desires. And guess what? You don't have to work hard for them. Letting yourself feel worthy of receiving is key for you. You become magnetic when you sit back and let yourself receive. That doesn't mean that you don't take action. That just means that you take action in a way that works with your energy. You listen to your strategy and authority, and you follow your intuitive guidance on what works for you. Because you can, when you're out of alignment here, burn out really easily, especially when you're doing things that aren't aligned with you. You may feel like you promise a lot, but then underdeliver in this area because you don't have this consistent willpower to get things done. So it's only committing to the things that are truly aligned to you and learning to say no to the things that are not. And this helps build your worthiness because you know that you're completely in charge of what you accomplish because you're here to do things without forcing them to happen. You get to take on the motivation and energy of those around you and see how people get things done and see who's efficient in that and who's not efficient in that, and take what skills and strategies you can from those people that work for you and make it your own. So if I had to give one practical tip to start implementing today, whether you are defined or undefined in this area, is truly getting clear on your desires, knowing that you are worthy of your desires, and then letting your strategy and authority lead you to the aligned action steps that you are meant to take. Because whether you are defined and you may take more action than somebody who's undefined, both of you are still taking action. It just will look differently for you. And then so knowing how to up-level your life, your business, and career in this area is allowing this flow to continue through you. Again, whether you are defined or undefined, because this hustle, this willpower, this motivation comes whether you're defined or undefined. It just comes more consistently for somebody who's defined when you know what you desire. So what do you desire in life? What do you desire in your career? What do you desire in your business? And getting extremely clear on those things. What does this look like for you? What does this feel like for you? What do you envision this being in your life? And then listening to your authority and your intuitive guidance to access the energy that you have in this center to actually get you there. So if you have this center defined or undefined, let me know in the comments below. And if you'd love to dive deeper into your design, I highly recommend that you get in on my free Back to Basics Masterclass or download my free Foundations Guide, where you can learn some practical strategies to start embodying, living, and breathing your design today. And if you'd rather just have me tell you everything and tie it up with a nice, neat little bow, you can always book a reading with me as well, where we go deep into your design and highlight your strengths, your gifts, and how you are meant to be in this world. All of those links you can find below, and I will see you next time.